Hi, my name is Scott Cheney, and I'm a leader in the professional services practice here at Pros. And I'm with Sanjay Seth, who is a leading strategy consultant for the service parts space.
Yes.
And we're working jointly with Sanjay's firm to actually implement a pricing strategy solution at a auto parts OEM. And so I wanted to take a few moments today to discuss your experience with this particular project and initiative, and the value that has been achieved, or the opportunity that has been achieved with this particular engagement.
Sure.
First of all, just generally talk about your overall experience with the pricing process and more around the technology and the implementation.
Conrad & Company we are a strategy consulting. We work with OEMs to identify best processes and systems to sustain the benefits of revenue management and pricing being one of them. So we're very agnostic to IT. We want to be in that way. So when we engaged with this company, the auto manufacturer, IT selection was a part of a bigger engagement where we wanted to understand what were the gaps in their processes were and what kind of system they would need to fill those gaps. And based on our current state assessment and gap analysis and best-in-class assessment, we essentially came down to a whole feature set of functionality that was needed for us to fill the gaps in the current processes. And we used that feature set to evaluate a lot of different vendors, and of course Pros was one of them. And we went through a very rigorous process of not only demos by the software vendors, but at the same time we gave them a real set of customer data and asked them to prove the value of the software within 4 to 5 hours. So that process essentially led to the final selection, which happened to be Pros. But what really led, relative to the competition, where Pros stood out compared to the vendors that we have evaluated, was flexibility of the solution, the customization versus configuration. I think that was a big part of it. The second was the speed of implementation. In today's environment, everyone wants to see the value immediately, and Pros team committed to a faster implementation relative to the other vendors. And finally, I think the total cost of ownership of the software itself was another key driving factor for this manufacturer of the vehicle to select Pros for their parts pricing needs.
Great. So you've already talked about the reasons and the factors of why you chose Pros over other vendors in this particular space, in the pricing space. Can we expand on it a little bit? I mean, what is the value that has been achieved or realized so far by implementing the Pro solution?
So, as I said, this was a multi-phase project, with the first phase being establishing the strategy, and the second was establishing the implementation. And during the implementation, we took a lot of mini pricing actions with the help of the software and with the help of the configured pricing methods and strategies. And over and all, we were able to generate about 5 to 6 million in incremental revenue and margin just within 6 to 7 months of the total implementation. In particular, within the 30 days, we generated about 1/3 of the cost of the software itself. So these mini sessions not only demonstrated the value, mini pricing sessions not only demonstrated the value to the OEM, but they also taught us how best to configure so that the change management would be facilitated as we go to the final rollout within the other parts of the organization.
So generally, we were able to operationalize pricing best practices throughout this particular customer, and they really did realize the value that they thought they would achieve with this pricing solution.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there are a lot more value to be generated down the road, but within the current scope of the implementation, they definitely achieve.
And based on your experience so far and what you know about other industries outside the auto parts space, can what we've experienced here with this particular project, with this particular initiative, can be expanded or more generalized throughout other industries, in your opinion?
Yeah, and when I view the auto manufacturers and their service parts pricing issues, and I talk to the other practitioners from the other industry, I don't see that this being a unique situation for the service parts industry. You have the same issues across other industries. There are no documented strategies. There's inundated data that people have to look at. There are no analytics available. There is no ability to identify opportunities where the hidden gems of pricing actions are. So all those things are not only unique to the auto manufacturers, for that matter. It is unique. It is pervasive across other industries, and I think it has applicability everywhere.
Great. Well, thank you for your time, Sanjay.
Thank you very much.
And we're very excited about future opportunities working with the Kellogg Group with future implementations and deployments across many different industries. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.